I'm going to ask at this time, Veronica, if you'd please come forth. You're going to speak on behalf of Elayna, Sadiee, Dorig. And if there's any of the family of Elayna's, if you please come up at this time, and Veronica is going to share. And your words were so touching the other day at the service, at the memorial service, and so those are very, very nice words you said about Elayna. And so please share with this wonderful crowd of fellow citizens.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Veronica Soto. I am the property manager at Brandywine Apartments here in Delano. I would like to speak to you about the most recent tragedy that took place in our city. As you are all aware, on July 2nd, our city was disrupted by the actions of an individual who took the lives of two young girls. One of those girls being Elayna, whom my team and I had the pleasure of knowing since she was about 2 years old. I will always remember the evening of July 2nd, as this was the evening that changed the lives of many. I distinctively remember hearing sirens that evening going down County Line Road, which we all hear way too often. I then received a phone call shortly after from one of my employees. Immediately I could sense distress in her voice. She said, "Something bad happened." I asked, "What's going on?" She said she was driving home from getting dinner and saw an abundance of police presence at a home and noticed that Angie was there, and she was on the ground screaming. She said the way Angie was crying was not a normal cry, and kept saying, "I hope everything is okay." At that point, there was not much detail, but lots of wondering what could have happened. A few hours later, like everyone else, we saw in the news that there was a shooting of not one individual, but 5, that there were 2 young girls whom were killed. And as you can imagine, we began to question who could it be, as the ages were so close to Elayna. I called Anissa, as we both were so worried and were thinking the worst, but hoping for the best. I kept telling Anissa, "It can't be Elayna. It's not Elayna. There's no way that that's possible." I told her to keep me updated if she heard anything, and we prayed hard. The next morning I had a missed call, and then another right after. That was not normal. I rarely get calls, as no one really even calls anymore. I hesitated to answer the second call because I was fearful to hear something I did not want to hear, but I answered the call and immediately I heard it. "Veronica, it was Elayna." I was in shock and could not speak. I felt like I wanted to throw up. I felt this horrible feeling in my stomach. All I could say is, "No, it is not her. It's wrong. There's a mistake." There wasn't a mistake. It was true. And I could keep saying no a million times, but that would not change the reality of what had just happened. I began to cry as this hits too close to home. Elayna has been a part of our extended Brandywine family for over 10 years, and this shouldn't have happened. Elayna was an amazing young girl who was caring, sweet, a great student, and so much more. How could someone take the life of Elayna and Michaela? These wonderful, amazing young girls had their whole life ahead of them, and because of the actions of this person or persons, they have now been robbed of their lives. And so many others are now experiencing a pain that is indescribable. Our entire staff, along with my residents, are sickened that this has happened yet once again in our city, and we are angered and disappointed. This could have been one of our daughters, granddaughters, sisters, nieces, cousins, or friends, and no one deserves for this to happen to them, especially an innocent child. Our property will miss seeing Elayna at all of our events, which she loved attending, but we know that she will definitely be there with us in spirit. We need to take action and unite as a community. Look out for one another and begin to make a change. I pray that this will hang heavy on whoever did this, on your heart, whoever you are, and you need to come forward and take responsibility for this tragedy. I would also like to ask if you or anyone you know has information about this case, whether you think it is nothing, please come forward. On behalf of Brandywine Apartments, we once again send our deepest condolences to Angie and Michaela's family. You are in our thoughts and prayers. I just want everyone to know that we should all be close-knit. No matter who we are, we see each other in the streets, we see each other at Walmart, we see each other at Taco Factory, driving. It doesn't have to be like this. Somebody needs to say something. The pain has to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Once again, is the mother of Nayeli Gonzalez here? Laura? Okay, I'm gonna, if she's not here, I'll go ahead and speak on behalf. But Nayeli Gonzalez was shot on January the 2nd of this year. She was a student from Fresno State, and she was home during winter break at Cesar Chavez Park, and I'm sure many of you may have heard and read. She was only 19 years old, and again, just an innocent bystander of a heartless individual that was out to hurt someone, maybe random, we don't know. But this family did not deserve, Nayeli's life did not deserve to be taken out. And so again, if you know anything about this, there's other unresolved crimes here in Delano, other family members, and we're going to have another event like this in September. We're going to be joining together with other agencies and community leaders, organizers, and to do a follow-up to this meeting. Because when I got phone calls a week and a half, 2 weeks ago from community members, people that called and says, what can we do? What can we do about these two young girls being shot? What more can we do? What more can we do besides pray? And so I said, we need to bring an awareness and keep this before the people that, again, somebody that is watching, somebody that is listening can pick up the phone and call and do the right thing. Because enough is enough. I was born here in Delano. This is my hometown. This is my community. And when a family member is affected, whether I know them or not, it bothers me. Because I don't want another family to have to go through the pain and agony that we have gone through. I sincerely appreciate people coming up and calling, and when we went through what I went through in January 31st with Adam, the overwhelming love and response and that people gave to me in this community, people from all walks of life, people with different philosophical point of views would reach out, and I know what this community is about. I don't like people talking about Delano and putting this community down and saying that Delano's a bad place. Delano's a good place. We got a lot of good-hearted people here in Delano, and I know who those people are. I'm not talking about the people that are within the four walls of my church. I'm talking about a community of people that I grew up with here, that I personally know. And so I just know that this is a good community, and we're going to continue to fight for justice for our loved ones. With the help and the grace of God and the help of our neighbors, we're going to stand together. One of the complaints that people give to me all the time is that the police don't care about us. The city officials don't care about us. And that's not true. That's not true at all. I've never experienced that. On the contrary, I've experienced nothing but care from community leaders and officials and the police department. I've experienced a great compassion and concern, but again, they could only